Hi everyone, and welcome to our tech demo session. My name is Lucia Extacuy. I'm project manager at the WikiRate project, and with me are Daniel Spaude and Johnny Perez. They are both software engineers at the Zalando Tech4Good Guild. And well, today's session is going to be divided into two parts. In the first one, I will be introducing WikiRate, our data structure, and our climate action project. And in the second one, Johnny and Daniel will be telling us a little bit about their experience volunteering for WikiRate through the Guild and about the work they did to develop an open source widget that displays information about emissions data. So WikiRate is a collaborative platform that allows individuals and researchers alike to contribute open data, open and structured data on corporate sustainability issues. WikiRate is also a research tool that engages thousands of volunteers, students, and researchers year after year, covering a variety of topics, companies, and sectors. At the end, what you have is a large amount of data available on the platform. In order to organize and manage our content, WikiRate is organized into answers, where each answer represents how a company is performing on a specific metric question. And each of these answers have to be citing a source. So for instance, in this example here, we can see that the source used is the environmental report for last year. Last year, we started a new project on the top 100 greenhouse gas emitters and how they're reacting to the climate crisis. This data is key to understanding what companies are doing to reduce their negative impact on the environment, and also to monitor and track the progress that they do year after year. In order to communicate better this information, we approached the Tech4Good Guild and asked them to help us design and develop an open source widget that will pull in live data from WikiRate into a dynamic chart. So in order to know more about this process, I'll ask now Daniel to introduce both Johnny and the Tech4Good Guild and tell us a little bit more on this.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lucia. Yeah, let me start with quickly explaining what the Tech4Good Guild is. So it's basically an employee-driven volunteering format where we, like Zalando employees from diverse backgrounds, from UX, product, engineering, business, come together every second week after work, and where we identify and work on projects and initiatives where we think this might have a positive impact on the society or on topics like sustainability. And WikiRate was actually our first collaboration partner, and we got to know them during a hackathon. And after a while, even so, WikiRate was still a very young organization. We were instantly attracted by the project, the idea, and the potential impact of it. And after one of our Guild members, for example, gave also a product management workshop to them, we were looking together for other projects where we could collaborate, also maybe more engineering-related projects. And after some brainstorming, WikiRate came up with the idea of that graph visualization, that widget, which Lucia was mentioning already. And the reasoning behind it was basically, okay, WikiRate has this amazing and growing data sets, which are used and extended by mostly very dedicated experts on the respective topics. But to reach more and more people beyond the circle of experts, it would make a lot of sense to create something additionally that delivers mainly on three areas. So first of all, the actual widget, which is about this certain use case, this greenhouse gas emitting companies, which can be embedded in any website, basically. So whether it's like an NGO blog or like journalistic essays or scientific context or content. And secondly, also to use this as an let's say inspirational project, which can be which acts as an example of what you can do with the WikiRate API and the data, which then can be forked by other people to adapt it and modify it to their own use cases. So modified whether it's on the data set, on the topic itself, or whether it's on the kind or the type of data visualization that you want to use. And the third aspect was developing, or like during the development of the widget, we were also able to identify, let's say, aspects which can be improved on the WikiRate API. Because even though the API was very comprehensive already, it was not made initially for like high performance or and compact data sizes. So which is important for our use case, which will also Johnny explain in a second. And to show you a little bit what we are talking about concretely, I share my screen, and I will show you the project page about this project that Lucia was talking about. So it's a curated data set here. Besides metric and answers, you can also have these kind of curated data sets, data pages on WikiRate. And in this case, you see the top emitting greenhouse gas emitting companies. Here it's about the years, over the years 2017 and 2018. And the nice thing about any, basically any WikiRate resource, you can also easily get the JSON representation of it. And yeah, what we wanted to do then is use this data and coming to a chart, which then in the end looks like this. So this is the JavaScript widget that we were talking about. Again, you see like the companies on the y-axis and the amount of greenhouse gases they're emitting over each year, in this case also 2017-18. And in this case, it's only the top 10 companies, but this is one of the parameters that you can also modify. And to talk about this aspects and other technical, like how we approached it, other technical aspects, I would like to ask Johnny to explain a little bit about this one.
Right. Thanks, Daniel. So yeah, actually, I would like to guide you through the process, more or less how we collaborated in these bi-weekly meetings. So at the beginning, we were having some rounds of UX design, right, where we were trying to decide what we actually wanted to reflect with this widget. And the outcome of this process was that we wanted to have this chart, which is gonna allow you to actually benchmark different companies, right? And apart from that, you could also see like for each company, how do they do year after year, whether they get better or they get worse. So as an outcome of this design process, actually, then we went into the technology selection, and initially we chose to use React.js, and then later it became Vue. And for the actual rendering of the chart, we decided to use eCharts. So as you can see, we decided to use all open source projects in order to implement this widget. Then the next part, it was the actual integration. And I would say this is the part that I enjoyed the most. In this part, we were in very constant communication with the engineering team of WikiRate. And as an outcome of this process, WikiRate actually managed to create a way more optimized API because it's more compacted, right? So actually, as you can see here, I'm showing you that initially there was a very like an API which contained many duplicated data with this format. And then the outcome of this collaboration is that WikiRate now offers a way more compacted and more performant API as the one that you are seeing right now. And the last part is actually like, if you're wondering like, how can we use this? So I have good news. The first part is that the project is it's available in GitHub. So you could go there, you can check the code, you can maybe get some inspiration on writing your very own widgets, maybe not only integrating with this gas emissions project, but maybe you can use any of the other data projects that WikiRate has. And the second way that you can use this widget is by integrating it into your own web page or blog. And I'm going to show you here that you only have to add very small, like very few pieces of code for actually achieving this. So in the first part, in the headers, you can see that you only have to add the CSS file and the JavaScript file for the widget. And in the second section, in the body, you only have to actually use the widget. And in this case, you have the opportunity to pass some parameters, like, for example, the number of companies that you want to visualize, the HTML component where you want the widget to be rendered on, and the answer endpoints, which is the URLs of the data points that you want to render on the actual widget. So I hope that this actually gave you a very good glimpse on how easy it will be for you to integrate and to create your very own widgets and use this project from WikiRate.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Johnny. So to wrap it up, also from our point of view, we really like this collaboration in the project, and we are really happy with the outcome. And one thing that I really would like to point out is that the final code base is not rocket science. So it's easy to adapt and modify. So we WikiRate, and we really invite you to look in your own use case, choose your own WikiRate dataset, and then use this widget as an inspiration, fork it, and modify it to your own needs, whether it's presentation-like or whatever. So it's a playground. So with having said this, I would like to pass back to Lucia.
Well, thank you, Johnny and Daniel. This was a very clear, interesting presentation of your work. And I would like just to extend what you already said, to extend the invitation to everyone that is watching right now to get in touch in case you're interested in setting up your own data collection project, or if you want to develop another kind of dynamic data widget. One way to do this is to simply write us an email to info@wikirate.org, but you can also explore the labs.wikirate.org website, which is our community site for developers to share code, inspiration, ideas, or resources. Other than that, the only thing that's left is to thank you all for your attention, and we're looking forward to your questions and feedback. Thank you.